for joining us today. This is Monday, as above, so below. We're talking about Cancer energy, moon energy. Thank you to each and every one of you guys. First of all, let me say thank you to my madrina, to my padrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjays. To each and every one of you guys that are melanated and really want to know what all the hype is around melanated magic. What's up there, Jeremy? Thank you for joining us on today. This is very, very important that I'm going to be talking to many of you guys, discussing some of the things that we're headed in for. You know that I always let people know before it ever takes place where these manifestations are going. What's up, my Demetrius? Congratulations, Demetrius got his egg on staff. I'm excited to hear about it. Quite naturally, I would be. That's my baby Scorpio is in the house. What's up, there, my Shamari? My cancer from Chi-Town. I call her Sasha Fierce. He said that Egun stick is no joke. I, Let me tell you something. I love the fact that Demetrius is a practitioner. He's been in the HR as well as I am, and the level of work that goes on. I only have one Egun stick already ready if someone wants it to go, but the rest of them are still as I would like to say on the stove cooking. Cause y'all know any Egun stick that I prepare for you has to have 21 days of cycle. So I have that one. He got the first one, and so therefore I have a second one that's already. I can send it out shortly. The rest of them are still soaking up energy, power, frequency, vibration. Thank you so much for being with us on today. This is going to be a really, really exciting time because of the psychic class that is coming up. A beginner's class that is going to be very informative. We do have certain practitioners that are going to be participating, and so therefore I'm going to tailor the beginning class with everybody in mind, and I'm really gung ho about teaching. I'm a Sagittarius, Moon and Aries, and rising sign Pisces. I love to teach. Also working. Oh my God. Jeremy, Egun stick that is prepared by a priest or priestess, depending on the tradition. It is a powerful assistance to your communication with your ancestors in spiritual work. Ancestor can, depending on the type of ancestry you have, the way that I prepare, I tie it to one of your ancestors, and not only the work that I do through the Impungo or Haitian Voodoo, but I tie it so you will have a direct contact with your ancestors, and that stick. I teach how to utilize it. I'm also going to be teaching a class for those that have Egun stick. It is it is a powerful tool if prepared correctly. It is a great responsibility because that Egun stick has to be fed. All of my Egun sticks have already been consecrated with blood. Some people call it minga, and it is something that once you receive it, Jeremy, you would have to be in one of the membership classes, the Haitian, I mean not classes, membership, Haitian Voodoo membership, or Orisha membership, or Apollo membership. In that is on my website. My baby Scorpio said, "I need one," and I want to say to you guys, and I want to say personally to Demetrius and Karen O'Brien as well. Thank you guys and each one of you that have given me opportunities to show what melanated power or extraterrestrial power can do. Um, how it is more than conversation. It's more than talking about the possibilities of magic, but giving me an opportunity to come in your life and share that energy that I'll share with you. And what I am fortunate enough, I have people that want to be responsible with the power, want to be responsible with their lives, and knowing the opportunity that awaits them with their ancestors. And and I always teach this, always communicate with your ancestors, and having the proper tools is how we get certain levels of manifestation. And that is something very important to me. And I've had the privilege of having many of you guys step in certain arenas when it came to my practices, and it just it I have great joy. Um, I think I'm more happy for Demetrius than Demetrius happy for himself, because I know where that is going to lead him, and I believe that wealth is about telling the truth, having people to walk in certain successes is really, really important. And they can only do that if they have the proper tools. But thank you for hitting the like button as y'all come in. Don't forget, this is a monetized channel. If you want me to burn incense for you on today, I'll do that as well. But I want to talk about this. I want to say hello to Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one of you guys. What's up, my Ryan? It's an awesome tool I have. I'm happy to have proper pair. You have not even seen anything. And Demetrius, you have to feed that when you're working with that Airgun stick, you can use a white candle, and you have to use I shouldn't say have. If you're gonna use rum, dark rum, it has to be that Haitian rum. If you're gonna do light rum, it has to be Ogun. Because those are only two liquors I work with your staff. You don't have to do it now, but when you're doing work and you want things to be popping, feed it that rum, either one. I want to talk about this because we have a lot of melanated people in the ATRs from the church and got church influence. Even though they don't go to church, you can tell by the language and the verbiage they use, that's Christian dogma. And I have said over and over why it's important to renew your mind and to elevate to different levels so you can actually manifest things a lot more. That is correct, Demetrius. And it is very, very important, okay? I'm going to talk about this because we're talking about connectivity. And I love to bring about situations, circumstances, and show you why certain things are important and why you have to be, this word, consistent. My subject is consistency is key for desired end. I forgot I changed the title. And what I mean by that, because you can manifest something, but it's not really what you desire it to end up being. People are doing magic and working with energies, and they're getting certain things to come to pass, but it's not what they thought it was going to be, or it has a lot to do with how they were trained, how you go into a energy, how you connect to that energy, and how you maintain the flow of that energy for you to get an expected end. One of the things that I want to talk about is when I'm going through my process of healing and removing parasites and all this. And I want to say what people fail to realize, that you have to do your first work. And then there's a sequence, a process that you go from once you get through one cycle, and then you go into another cycle. And it's all the same, setting up for the same manifestation or expected end. The word consistency means this: conformity in the application of something, how you apply a thing. It says typically that which is necessary for the sake of logic, for the sake of accuracy, and for the sake of fairness. This is what people don't understand by universal laws. In order for me to get healed, a part of my healing is also healing other people. Come on here, somebody. I'm going to teach you today. A part of walking in prosperity is to be a part of somebody else's prosperity. A part of gaining knowledge is to be somebody else's student. Everything has to work in a cycle, and you have to be consistent in that cycle. In order for you to get your expected end, and not just a manifestation. You have to understand, in order for you to be the head and not the tail, you must defeat that which is standing between you and you being the head. When you don't understand the cycles that you have to go through in order, and how consistent you have to be for the logic or the mindset behind what you're trying to bring to pass, and the accuracy accuracy is about calculation. It's about formulas. See, you can have a money incense, but it's missing key ingredients that go give you your expected end. But you do have money incense, or you have money oil. You have to have in order to get the outcome. I wanted to go through what I was going through, but one of the things that I desired in my healing, I didn't never want to lose my quality of life. When I want to prosper in finances, I wanted to prosper with the knowledge of what my mother said, for me to make money and not to allow money to make me. Consistency, depending on your outcome that you're expecting, you have to have the mindset, you have to have the mathematics, and you got to want to be fair. So we're going to talk about fairness when it comes down to manifestation. This is why Apostle Ely don't go out and attack people that don't do anything for me. See, when I do a return to sender, the reason why I get my expected end, because I am fair about how it came to be. Why it is necessary for me to do a return to sender. A lot of you guys are wanting certain manifestations, but you don't have the element of fairness. You have to consider who you are and what you've done. We use this term accountability. When I want certain things to manifest a certain type of way, I have to consider all these elements. These are universal truths and universal laws. They apply whether you're in Christianity, Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, atheist, doing group magic. All of these things keep you from, if you don't have them or you're not being mindful of them, this is what keeps people from getting their expected end versus a manifestation. I'm going to say that again. In order for me to get the types of healing that I'm getting, now I got more information, but I don't believe that the information would have come to me if I had not already started my cleansing with black walnut and wormwood. Before you get to the next stage of healing, relationship, business, clients, you have to factor all these things in so you can get the proper manifestation. This is the type of teaching that is missing in a lot of practices. You can still work with the impungo. You can still work with the veve or the pati pimpa. You can still work with the sigil and not get your expected end. The desire, when the Bible said, you will see your desire upon your enemies, it didn't say manifestation. That thing that you desire to come to pass in their life manifested. This is why I sit down and count up the cost. I get the right numbers and the right calculations. I was very strategic in how I prepared that egun stick, and I was also very strategic in how I prepared it for my Gemini, that he can capitalize on his own power through that element and manifest his desires more accurately, more logically, and more fairly. Because let me tell y'all something about fairness. Fairness keeps you out of this where somebody can overturn your prosperity. That somebody, see, when you go to the Supreme Court, it's the highest court in the land. And I want you to understand about extraterrestrial and these higher laws. When you pass the smell test with all your universal laws, it will be almost impossible for your health healing to be overturned, for your prosperity to be overturned. Before somebody can curse what God has blessed because of how consistent you were and how you factored into all of these parts. When they come against your protection, I love the steps, even down to my baby Scorpio. I know they are excited and they want to gain all they can gain. But let me tell y'all something. This is why I say, if you're going to burn candles, be consistent. If you're going to burn incense, be consistent. Even when you're not getting what you want, be consistent. Even when it don't look like what you want to look like, be consistent. I remember the process I was going through. And Mother Susan said, Apostle, I see the difference. I see God healing you. And I still felt differently. I still was consistent, even though I didn't sound like I wanted to sound. I didn't feel like I was sounding like myself. You understand? When you are in situations, your feelings, my water signs, don't matter. It's your consistency. My air signs, what you think about it, going back and forth, even when you're in a double-minded state, being consistent will override. Because I want us to get to the point we're operating in melanin. When you are able to go to the highest courts in the spiritual world, and once you have been granted your desire, once you have been granted your healing, I don't care whatever sickness, it gotta go. The goal that I want to teach is that you learn why you take time to go through all the Letitia, oh my God, what is the attorney in New York, Attorney General? Letitia James, if I'm not mistaken. What I like about her, and it's the same way in Contra, just because she don't like Trump, she don't have step. Come on here, somebody. When you want what you implementing to stick, you go through all the proper channels. There's a reason why she goes and takes her time to pick the proper charge, to pick the proper evidence, to file those documents in a timely manner, making sure that he is notified. See, you got to notify your adversary. This is why I don't believe in throwing the rock and hiding your hand. Because if you haven't declared war, what you're doing is unfair. And a lot of people go that way because they feel that they get the ups on. But that working that you're doing can be overturned. That working you doing against that person can be overturned because you didn't go through the proper channels. See, when a country declares war, it is what it is. I get something, some of y'all be doing these battles, you know, you ain't declared war, but you in certain battles. But this woman in position as an attorney general understands law. And the same thing, a true spiritualist, whether root worker, conjurer, mystic, you want to understand the spiritual laws. You want to know whether this working can be challenged in the spiritual courts. Come on here, somebody. Your consistency, and you factor it in the logic, the accuracy, and the fairness. I don't want to get you to the grave and it be overturned. I don't want you to get you to the zone of defeat and it get overturned. I don't want to be in here winning all of these rounds because I didn't I didn't read you your Miranda rights. Now my whole case is thrown out. Let me talk to you today. This is why I say I'm a spiritual strategist. I'm not trying to get quick victory. I'm trying to make sure the work sticks. I'm trying to make sure that another powerhouse can't overturn my workings. I want the judge to say, sustain. I want any spiritualist that looking at my working, I don't care if it's for my baby Scorpio or my Shamari or Demetrius or Ryan, I want them to be able to read that no matter what their tradition is and say these words. I can't fuck with that. I can't fuck with his blessings that he put out there, and I can't fuck with his curses. You don't want to be the type of worker that ain't factoring all this stuff. Because guess what? That person may die in that curse. But when their ancestors can overturn it, and you still got hell to pay, or your bloodline got hell to pay. I do understand people like to be a sneaky spiritualist. But I have been taught, I have learned. I started with my spiritual dad at 13 years of age. And he's the one that brought these things to my attention. Because you get a manifestation, it can be overturned if not done correctly. You can be riding high on your prosperity spell and it be overturned. You can be riding high on your healing. That's why I pay attention to how I get my healing. That's why I don't try to cross people. I pay my way. I do stuff in a timely manner. I want y'all to understand why all these things are significant. Not just the root work, not just the conjure work, not just the doll or the puppet that you're working with, not just the oils you putting together, not just the candles you burning, not just cemeteries. Because I have overturned a lot of work. A lot of my clients that I have now that follow me have been worked on. But a lot of that work was unjustified. A lot of that work, they didn't have the right formula to make it stick. They struck, but they ain't make it stick. And therefore, a lot of y'all been saved because these people ain't going through all these steps to ensure their victory. And that's why I had the opportunity to reverse and lift the work. Oh yes, I love doing it. Because these are the things that if you ain't got a real good teacher and teach you about all these laws that apply and applicable to everybody, and then when you do a work, you wonder why somebody can challenge that work in the spiritual courts. They can put your working on hold. That's why you experiencing delays, because somebody challenging your prosperity, somebody challenging your protection. As my mama said, protection. That's why my messages click, as Mother Susan said, hit that spot. A lot of you guys don't want to take out the proper time to get in these classes. You think you got, let me tell you something. This is going to be so well worth it. I got a couple more people that signed up for the class. Melanated people, stop trying to get out of getting free information. Know that when you set a work or a protection, what's up, my kingmaker, my twin on my birthday? You don't want to put a word out there prophetically, or even the Bible says if you doubt not in your heart, you don't want your word to be challenged. Just like God said his word would not return void, and just like when the scripture was talking about Samuel the prophet, that not one of his words fell to the ground. Baby, you got to have consistency. Consistency consistency in your relationship with the divine, masculine or feminine. But this is what I have seen, because even when Kingmaker or different one were challenged, if the people went through the proper channels, if they weren't so hasty to see something happen to her or happen to him, they would have went to the proper channels like Letitia James. She's able to challenge the presidency of Trump, even though he's a president in these United States. He has all kind of leverage and power. But the Attorney General, because she did her homework, some of y'all so busy trying to get people to fall, you overshoot. This is what they doing in this court case with Diddy. You're going after the wrong charges. This is why when a prosecutor is trying to get a conviction and they want certain charges to stick to that person, that's why the jury matters. Talk to me, y'all. That's why the jury matters. Because you can have a charge, but if that jury don't bring it home and they can't see your evidence, they're not going to give you that charge that you put on that man or woman. When I go to war for somebody, there's a jury that I go to. And I point out what was not done right. In Psalm 35 it said, I plead my cause, oh God. You got to be a spiritual lawyer when you want to unravel some shit somebody did to somebody, or even yourself. The reason why they set that in motion was because of this, Lord. That's why I love being a Sagittarius. I get down to the truth. And I start making that spell weak. As I present more and more evidence and more decrees and more laws against that case, that curse gets weaker and weaker, and then it releases. And then it returns back to the sender because it was unjustifiable. This is when you understand that an unjustified curse will not rest. It didn't say it won't happen. It won't rest. It won't take residency on that person's life. You can't be out here because you know a little something about energy, a little something about a blessing, a little something about a curse. You got to understand how energy flows and how other spiritual people. That's why I love P. Diddy defense team. I like a good prosecution because I play both hands. But I like to see how real and how much, because your know-how and what type of evidence. That's when you get to the back and forth with the warfare, because they keep decreeing things, I'm decreeing things. But when you got the right witnesses, that's why I go to different places for different people. Sometimes I go to the water for them to be a witness. Sometimes I go to the crossroad for them to be a witness. Sometimes I go to the cemetery and the crossroad because I need more than one witness to make this stand. It says, where I have 2 or 3 witnesses, it shall be established. Is y'all hearing me? That's why my numbers are 369. I be looking for 2 or 3 witnesses that can establish. Establish something means is it make it sustain what the judge sustain the argument, sustain the argument, to sustain, and all of these set you up to get an expected end, not just a manifestation of health, prosperity, but the desired outcome that you desired and you spoke to the divine. But you got to be consistent. You have to be ongoing. And you got to make sure that for logic's sake, for accuracy sake, and for fairness, when you operate in that type of energy and flow, I'm trying to manifest the ancestors. This message is right on time. And let me tell y'all this. A lot of times, just like a man or a woman, you got to know how to talk to God. You got to know how to talk to a judge. You got to know how to talk to a prosecutor. You got to know how to talk to a defense attorney. Some of y'all, how you talk, now, you know this is going to be good for us. I'll be able to do this. If you trying to manifest, if you got the money, just get the egg on stick. But you ain't got the money, and you trying to get the manifestation for your egg on stick and what it can do in your life, then you got to know how to talk to your ancestors. You can't just say, I want something. This is the purpose. When you want mom and daddy to give you some more money, you got to build a case of why they investing in you. You got to show them the purpose of why this is necessary. They might be tired of spending, but you still need your books, because what's the purpose of me getting in class and I ain't got the book? I don't care how stingy they are. My mama Virgo, very stingy. But she still want the expected end. See, you can get investors. You can get investors if you got your purpose and what this is going to do, and the logic behind that, and the formula, the math is mathing. I'm gonna say it again. When that math is mathing, I don't care what kind of doubt. That math gonna cause persuasion. When people can see themselves and what it can do in their lives, all of a sudden the wheels get to turning. All of a sudden things start lining up. One thing I tell people when they want their expected end, you have to be more consistent than your enemy. You have to be more observant than your enemy. You have to have better strategies and plans than your enemy. Because you can have a plan or strategy, and as a defense attorney, and it'll get shot down. You can have a strategy and plan as a coach, and they read your plays and blow you out the water. You're not the only one operating with logic, especially in these spiritual streets. You're not the only one that knows about John. That's why I have certain things working for people, especially if they got a lot of jealousy they deal with, if they got certain things that gonna be with them regardless. You gotta prepare them, their blessing for that. This is why some of you, instead of that, stop gossip and that reversal, especially you dealing with envy and jealousy. Somebody always trying to put that parasitic energy on you. And you ain't got to be doing that. Some of y'all lose certain battles, or you lose certain harvests that belong to you, and the amount of harvest you never got, because you don't understand how cruel jealousy is. You use that as a word. It's an energy. It's an emotion, and it can be aggressive or it can be passive. But it don't matter which one it is. It ain't good for you. What's up, my jealous sweets? Y'all understand? I'm breaking this down because I don't want melanated. I don't want your excuse to be because you don't want to practice voodoo or Santeria. You can be an atheist and manifest with your Egun stick. You can't, I couldn't do what I'm doing if I did not have tools. Remember I told y'all I was going down, I got shungite. Oh, it's over there. So I got pyramids because I got a plan for manifestation. When we get this psychic class, I got a plan. Yes, ma'am, I got your Zelle for reversal. I got you. I'm gonna do, I did it, but I'm gonna do it again. I know you don't think I'm lying, but I'm doing it on live. Because now that I'm retired, I come on, I can have sex when I want to, and I can have manifestation when I want to. And you know the biggest thing about retirement in my situation, I'm getting more rest than I would have ever got. And a part of my consistency for my healing is getting proper rest. And because my moon is Aries, it's hard for me to sit there and not do nothing. But I got to do it. Got to do it. I want my expected end. You know what? I'm gonna do that and stop gossip because you're an air sign. I'm gonna mix that with the reversal. That's for my chili sweets. I love accuracy. I love when I read. I love when I call something before it happened. I love all that. And that builds up consistency. I love the fact that I actually have to think. I don't just say I'm a root worker or a conjurer or a necromancer and have no strategy. It's all right, baby. I want y'all to understand. If you don't never work with me on other levels, my intention is for melanated people to win. If you already a client of mine, I want you to win better than you think. But I'm never gonna make you do something you ain't ready for or you don't want to do. Because I believe I'm a Sagittarius. I believe in free will. Okay? But I know sometimes that you need something stronger. When I was talking to my baby Scorpio and I was telling her about what she wanted to do, and I was looking at her situation, and I was trying to encourage her in a way without telling her what to do to build her luck up. A lot of times, y'all don't understand. Once you have did what all you can do, you need good luck to tilt things in your favor. This is TD Jakes. Everybody got a different terminology for it. He said favor ain't fair. These are the things Ecclesiastes said, chance happened to us all. Every last one of us got some type of good luck. But Sagittarius, and that's what Sagittarius got to be careful. People will take your good luck and challenge it. Where you may have been off, you took a risk because that's what Sagittarius do. And you calculated that risk. But because somebody working against you, you miss your numbers. You miss your appointment. And this is why we protect our luck. The luck of the Irish, Sagittarius. I want to show y'all how all these things that I talk about is connected and why it's significant and why it's essential, especially when you got responsibility and you got bills to pay, you got children or you got loved ones or grandchildren. This is the type of stuff you want to make sure before you send that out. Ryan said, stop gossip and money. I got you, Ryan. Stop gossip. Sometimes people don't understand the power of these incense burns. So I'm going to reiterate. Ryan is a cardinal heir. He got money and stop gossip. He has a certain mark on his life right now. So what people say can affect his money. I want to talk to you. Somebody working for Ryan got to understand this. So they got to tilt luck in his behalf. When you have certain things that will give a person an opportunity not to make a dollar with you, you got to have favor. Do y'all understand? You have to consider what a person is dealing with and going through. Some things are systematic. That means it's going to be there. Black people should always doing luck candles. A lot of the struggles you have is set up systematically for you to have it. I got one of my members and somebody trying to get rid of sell some property, but she won't meet the energy that's necessary for real estate, but she trying to get a certain outcome, and she wonder why she having so much resistance. Anybody that's in real estate know, dude, that when you black, you don't get what the white man or the white woman gonna get for their house. And your house may be in a better position. There are certain things, there are certain things systematically that gonna make it harder for you as a degree black woman, as a business owner, to get certain grants or certain loans. Not because you're doing something wrong, but they're gonna look at you. I have gotten bigger balances on my credit cards when I apply over my laptop. I got the same financial information, the same address, but when I go into those department store and apply for a credit card, yes, I get approved, but the balance be so much lower. Because you don't know what they putting in behind them. But if I apply off my laptop and based off my zip code and my income, my balance is always higher. Am I a different Negro? No. But I understand the systems. And so therefore I do a lot of conjure with technology, especially my website. When you got a website out there, you got people, whether they purchasing or not, they looking at your website. And they got energies and feelings about your website. You got videos out there, people looking at you. You got to protect all of that. You have to energetically protect that so it can bring you your expected or desired manifestation. And this stuff I want my babies to start learning and knowing why it's essential and significant. As long as you understand that, you will understand why be consistent no matter how the wind is blowing. Be consistent no matter how you feeling. Be consistent and keep saying, I'm healed by his stripes. Or I'm made whole, depending on your affirmation. But make sure you feed in that affirmation with energy every day. I want y'all to know this. Melanated people, on June the 5th, The sun is going to be radiating at 11. Get your crystal, get your ass out in that sunlight. If you got crystals or you got two conjure tools, for 2 days, that radiation gonna become build up your solar plexus. This is what I mean by consistency. Watching the signs of the time, knowing when to tap into. And when you get that energy, I like what Kimika said, put it to proper use. Use your energy for purpose. Use your energy to put yourself in a better position. Mentally, emotionally, economically, socially. Because a lot of y'all don't understand something. Some of y'all, it's not about just getting clients. If you were putting yourself in position, your gift will make room for you and have you standing in front of prince and princess, kings and queens. You want them kind of clients. That's where I'm headed. I did my work for the poor. Lord, I did my work for the poor. You know I have. I have been in repair of the breach. My Lord, I've done that. And you said if I lend to the poor, I lend to God. And I need my payback. But I need, I'm just trying to tell you, change your social status and give you favor when you walk into the room. You got to meet the energy. And because those people that are in those rooms or come to those rooms got energy too, got power. A lot of us, I don't know why we be doing. You're not the only one doing conjure. I don't care if they don't call it conjure. You're not the only one calling on the ancestors. I don't care if they don't per se say egum. But they're constantly doing things energetically. Meditating energetically. Keeping a positive emotional state. Energetically. Taking care of their temple energetically. And it's gonna, they're gonna carry certain energies. Whether they be parasitic in nature or alkaline in nature. I'm gonna be teaching something later on today. And it's gonna rock your world. I already know it is. God gives me so many revelations and insight. And that's why I'm standing here. Love. Oh, wait a minute. Peace and love burn for my baby. Okay. Peace and love. For 7. Love instant for 7. And peace. And remember, real peace instant or conditioning oil, it's about removing disturbances. But some of y'all don't understand the name of Jehovah Shalom. And I'm going to tell you another one that people don't understand. I'm going to give you some insight. Jehovah Tsidkenu. Jehovah Tsidkenu. Let me explain that. The Bible says in the book of Romans that Abraham, because he believed God, it was imputed to him. If you in the court and you don't have an income and they trying to get you to pay for child support, they will impugn, give you a dollar amount, and they will factor that in with what you need to pay for child support. So not having a job, it still gets you. They will impugn. So my point is, when you find yourself in a situation when your righteousness is as a filthy rag, you can call on the name of Jehovah Tsidkenu, because it's the Lord our righteousness, not yours, but the righteousness of the divine. Sometimes you can't get God to do stuff for your name's sake, because your name bad like your credit. I have literally had to ask spirits to do stuff for people in my church, but for my sake, because they credit they being inconsistent. The spirit didn't want to work with them. Sometimes I have to co-sign for certain people to get certain manifestations. Because your name, Paul I know, Yahshua I know, but I don't seen that name before. And I'm not buying it. Take care of your consistency, because it will allow you to have doors open for you and health open for you. Did you hear what I said? Not only would the door be open unto you, but it would be held open. You ever had somebody open the door and they hold the door open and the door hit you? You don't want them experiences. When God open a door, let your ancestors hold it open till you walk through. I told you, I'm here to win. I'm here to be victorious. I'm not here to sell another idea. I showed you my consistency. I showed you my ability to manifest. And what I'm trying to get you to do is you be more consistent. You make up your mind. You want Christianity or you want hoodoo? Or you want... Have a consistent thought process. And if you're going to do something, be consistent at it. And not in the word consistency, have the logic, the accuracy, the mathematics, and the fairness. This is when we talk about fairness. This is when a spiritual people say, this is bigger than me. Somebody used the terminology, this is for the highest good. I know a purpose of my financial elevation is not for me. Because in that case, I'm already living good. I'm already been taken care of. So the resources that are coming to me is for a greater good, a greater purpose. See, when you understand that your victory is bigger than you, you coming out of your situation and your circumstance is bigger than you, then you have more confidence. Because if you make everything about you, if you make everything about you, then that means you are a drop of rain in the ocean. But if it's more than about you, it's about the whole body of water. Even though you are an instrument. That's I know that my elevations are not just about me. I know my messages are not just about me. I know about my 13th circle that I'm like, that's going to be after I psych class. In that 13th circle, ain't nothing but $1,000. I'm going to be opening up portals. I'm going to show y'all how I get down and why I get challenged, but I always win. I ain't say no weapon wasn't going to be formed. But by my consistency, that's when you're going to see I overturn a lot of weapons that be formed against me. And now I'm explaining why I can do it. Because they didn't do their homework. You can't just because you don't like me, that doesn't make me guilty that I did something to you. You not liking my personality, I'm too flamboyant for you, doesn't justify your working against me. That's why I'm overturning. Because you don't believe in something, it makes it wrong. In the court of spiritual court, I'm right as two right shoes. Just because you don't believe something don't make it something wrong. And you sent that workout with that mindset. You sent that workout because I wouldn't give you some inches. You sent that workout because you wanted something. I'm overturning. Because you missing too many of these factors. And I'm going to be able to present to my ancestors why they should fight for me. I'm going to be able to present to my Mpungo why they should fight for me. I'm going to be able to present to my Orishas. Oh, yeah. You got... See, when you don't really respect the universal laws of the divine, you overlook all this shit. And you going to find out why it really matters. A lot of people, oh, you ain't ever... I'm powerful enough to overturn your shit. I'm a good enough spiritual attorney to have your executive order on delay. Letitia James is like Jean Grey when she was holding back that water. She let everybody else get in that plane. See, when you know the spiritual laws, you'll be surprised what kind of power you can hold back. What kind of outcomes you can keep from coming to pass. What kind of situation and circumstance you can turn around right in their face. Because you know the proper channels by which you gonna make your plea. I'm gonna teach you some stuff. Y'all gonna be way smarter than y'all have been. And you're gonna utilize your energy, your ache and chi more profoundly in your life. And you're gonna be more consistent because you're gonna say, you know what? I don't want this to be overturned. All right, thank you so much. I gotta get out here and get some stuff done because I got something. I'm gonna write it down so I won't forget. Because when the spirit give me an idea, I gotta write down. And you know what? My memory is so much better that I'm getting these parasite out. I know they mad, but I don't give a damn. They made me feel bad. Oh, this whatever time they got in my system, in my body, I'm gonna make it fucking miserable. I'm gonna make it unbearable. I'm gonna make it uncomfortable. And I'm gonna be robbing their energy. Like they was robbing my goddamn energy and my ache, my chi, my prana. I'm gonna be robbing them. Cause some people don't know how I can be a thief too. I'm gonna steal your energy where your ass can't function. They wanna hold on, but they so weak. And I'm gonna keep laying into their ass. That's where being a Sagittarius is good because I go to the extreme of things. They were making me sick. Now I'm making them sick. I love y'all. Peace out.